We're back for another episode of The Cheap Seats, talking some sports today with Chris Bedard. Beds, how you doing, pal?
Beds is doing great. How's Randy?
Doing good, man. I think I'm kind of on fire today. Ready to dominate.
Really? You're feeling it right now?
Yeah, I am feeling it. So,
All right.
looks like you're feeling it too, so.
It looks like you're in the lab. You got some stuff in the background. You're ready to throw some stats at me, some betting odds. I know my boy. You're ready
We
to
got some
pump some
sports to talk about.
fastballs.
It's a lot of stuff going on. It's actually a fun time for sports right now. So, we'll get to all that. Before I get to all that, though, Beds, I want to let people know that are listening, if you could do us a huge favor. Subscribe to the podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, like the podcast, comment, interact on anything you see on Instagram, Facebook. We would really appreciate it. I think it gets more eyes on it. So, Beds, do you have any thoughts on that?
It would help, man, because ultimately our goal is to go big time like Rogan.
So if you're listening at this point, we appreciate it. But do that for us. That would be awesome. And we're going to talk some sports now.
And I think, as always, thanks for the support.
Yeah, it's fun. It's nice to have people text, call, reach out afterwards. Hey, listen to the pod. Like this take, like this thought. It's something fun for us. So where do you want to start? I'm thinking baseball.
I mean, where do we start? Do we start with the Red Sox?
I actually want to pivot away from the Red Sox for a second because I think it's important. Like the Sox, definitely worth talking about. But I think the biggest conversation, I think we want to talk about like the top 5 storylines that are going on a week into the start of the Major League Baseball season.
Yep.
And in my opinion, the biggest story is the torpedo bats of the Yankees. What a wild story. Like totally caught me off guard a few days ago. What are your thoughts on all that?
The length, the change of where the barrel of the bat is like the major thing for me. And it's interesting to me where it's like over the last, 20 years, we have analytics have completely dominated baseball, and that barrel has stayed the same. And now all of a sudden, some guy comes out and creates a different bat. And of course, the Yankees have it. And of course, they're raking right now. So
absolutely raking. They won 20-9 against the Brewers the other day. 9 home runs. They had back-to-back-to-back-to-back home runs. Balls are just flying out of the park right now.
It takes that jammed inside pitch, and it makes these guys look amazing, apparently. I mean, it's early in it right now, but that's some of the stuff that I'm reading about the bat.
Yeah, they're just I'll pull up some stats for home runs, but the thing that I'm unsure about, and I don't know what you know about this, but is this legal? There seems to be this gray area as to if it's even legal.
If it's even legal is a thought that I have. I mean, MLB would have came out right away with this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sort of put a kibosh to it. They haven't yet, so it makes me wonder, number one, is that going to happen? Okay. Number two, if it's not going to happen, when are you other guys going to jump aboard?
Yeah, it's been a few days. Like, why hasn't anyone else incorporated that? I mean, you got to think that teams are obviously aware of it. They're obviously looking into it. Like, the league has to address it if it is going to be a problem. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to think by this weekend we'd have some torpedo bats in the Red Sox lineup. Right? Like, what's going on? Like, you're not doing your job if you're not getting torpedo bats.
I'm laughing right now because I want to say, Randy, thanks for the invite on Friday.
Yes. So Randy will be going to opening day on Friday at Fenway, which I'm excited for. Beds, you were supposedly also going, not with me. Thank you for the invite to that.
Yeah.
So hopefully we see each other there.
I'm hoping at some point, guys, Randy's going to make me a weekend friend. Sorry.
We're just on friendship at this point.
Yeah, right. I'm derailing us. Let's get back on task.
But hopefully, I mean, opening day is on Friday. How do the Red Sox not have torpedo bats in their lineups if it's a legal thing? It seems like a missed opportunity if not.
Is it a change of equipment that takes a minute also? Like, I wonder if the feel of the bat, the weight of the bat, I don't know. It's got to be different.
Question for you. Were they using the torpedo bat in spring training?
All right, if you've been enjoying the podcast, I wanted to let you know that I am a residential loan officer with CMG Home Loans. If you or anyone you know is looking to buy a home or refinance, please let me know and I'd be happy to help. My contact information is in the description below. Back to the podcast.
Because it definitely wasn't a story that made it to me, if they were. Or did they just grab the bats and start using them on opening day? I don't know.
I actually have zero idea. It's funny, actually, that's a really good question. Were the Yankees using it in the preseason.
You would think if they were, and they were hitting home runs at the clip that they are now, it would have been a story at that point. Like, wow, something's going on with the Yankees in spring training. Balls are flying out of the parks. This is what's going on. But none of that. It wasn't until this week. I was looking at some stats, or I am looking at some stats. They broke the Tigers' record of 16 home runs in the first 4 games by hitting 18 home runs in the first 4 games. So, it's a almost 20-year-old record. 18 home runs in 4 games is pretty solid. So, they scored 41 runs in that period of time as well, which is a lot.
Besides the bat, man, all of these games continue to evolve. These athletes continue to get so much better. It's like, is it the bat? Or if you look at the middle of that lineup, I mean, they have some studs.
They do. I don't know. It seems like it's the bat. Maybe it's not. I hope it is, and I hope everyone gets torpedo bats because I'm ready for home runs to make a comeback. Right? We've had some good years, but that's when baseball was its funnest.
So everybody needs to know that Randy used to be a big baseball guy.
True.
Chris Bedard used to be a big baseball guy. I have not been a big baseball guy for the last 2 to 4 years, Randy. Same thing with you.
Yep. Since Poppy retired.
I do love the team building of our New England team, so I do pay attention to what they do, but I have not been watching the products. I think I'm going to be a baseball guy this year. I want you to be a baseball guy this year.
I will know that I'm a baseball guy when I pull the trigger on buying Nesson. And I have been lingering on the website, and I'm close to buying it, but I don't know. We'll see. But that will be the sign that Randy's back. I'm back to being a baseball guy. Okay. I cannot stand I have to even make this decision, by the way. Do you obviously pay for Nesson, or do you have Fubu or whatever has Nesson as part of it?
Okay, so my brother-in-law sent me a text. He said, Chris, I'm Chris in this case, click on this link. Just want to let you know the baseball broadcast. You can pick any game, any sport, any show. It's a hack. So I've been using that. So okay. I finally ventured in the area of what my brother-in-law gave me, and I'm listening to the different broadcasts to watch the Red Sox. Yeah. Will I get tired of the freebie and go to the Nesson package? I'm almost there.
Yeah. Your dad is definitely hacked at this point too, so it's all over the dark web.
Yes. Is he really?
No, just by using whatever shady website.
I'm like, what did he do now?
That'll be a sign for me. We'll see if I pull the trigger. But I am definitely fired up for the season. I've been paying attention a little bit more than I usually do. And we'll see. I'll keep you posted on that. So Yankees bats, kind of love it. But I do want to move on to the next thing. And before we get to the Red Sox, that would be the Dodgers start. Dodgers are 7-0. And they seem kind of like a super team, in my opinion. And it seems like that place that everyone would want to play, given a choice of any team. It's like, why wouldn't you go to LA, play with the guys they have on that team, and dominate? And here they are, 7-0.
They're today's Yankees. They're everything that we hated about the Yankees. Every other team other than the Yankees for so many years looked at the Yankees spending, and I bet the Yankees now are looking at the Dodgers spending and like, what is going on here? That Ohtani contract is so amazing, by the way. Paying him the minimum and deferring that larger portion of the salary when he's probably going to be living in another state, which is going to help him with taxes. It's helped them to circumvent the salary cap. I mean, what they're doing over there, they got pitching, they got hitting, they stole our best player, they got the weather, they got the fans, they got Magic Johnson. Fuck Magic Johnson.
Let it out.
Yep, let it out.
Magic Johnson's a good guy. He's a good dude.
Yeah, he's dominating in life. I don't know, man. What do you think? Are the Dodgers bad for baseball?
That's like saying the Pats bad for football back in the day. It just is what it is. People do like a really good super team. It's fun to watch. I don't know that it's bad. Anything that's a story for baseball is probably a good thing at this point. So I'd have to say they're a positive for the league right now, despite the domination that they have right now. They are 7-0, tying 1933 Yankees record for a reigning champ. So give you some historical perspective. Off to a solid start for the former World Series champs.
They have everything. They really do have everything. You could go top to bottom in their lineup, You can look at their bullpen, their starters. I mean, the only thing that's going to prevent them from winning is what? Injuries, slumps.
Well, Chris, let me share some stats with you, or some odds.
All right.
The odds for the World Series champion for 2025, Dodgers, as we're discussing, they're plus 250. So they are the favorite right now. The next team is the Atlanta Braves at plus 850, Yankees plus 900, Phillies plus 1,000, Mets plus 1,400, Red Sox plus 2,000, if you're interested. So they are hands down the favorite. I think a plus 250 versus plus 850 is a big gap. So they're pretty heavy favorites right now.
Yeah, you're not making much on your money unless you throw a large-ass chunk down there and you hope everything goes the way that it's supposed to. I just don't see it. Dude, I don't see anybody stopping them unless somebody gets hot.
Yeah, which is possible, but they're pretty stacked right now. So we'll keep watching them.
Dude, sorry. They just need, like, at the end of the year, they need a couple of major guys to get hurt to kind of level it out against the top-tier other teams for anybody else to have a shot, in my opinion.
You know what's interesting about the Dodgers is I don't hate, like, they're not the Yankees. I don't hate them. Like, I kind of like it. I like Mookie Betts' success out there. The way that trade went down, it's like no bad blood for him at all. You kind of want to see him succeed, and they're doing that. So it's fine by me. Did you want to talk about the Red Sox?
Where do we start, buddy?
Well,
where do we start?
I think a good place to start would be the Crochet extension.
Yeah.
That's got me a little fired up. Like, to have a guy like that is a stud at his age, get a big extension like that, it shows to me that they're investing in the team. And a big part of the reason why I'm almost back.
I love that you're almost back. You need a guy like that can stop losing streaks every 5 days. So that's huge. It's very rare to land a guy at this age. This was an interesting cat and mouse, by the way. So you traded your number ones the last 2 drafts for him, okay? Mm-hmm. You had 2 more years of arbitration eligibility. So you could have rode this out to see what you have. He has had Tommy John before, so he's already gone through that.
It's concerning.
A little concerning, right? So you could have kind of ride this out for the next 2 years, and you know, if it didn't work out, okay, you traded a couple guys. If it does work out, here you are. You hit it in between the middle. You signed a guy for, I think, his last year. I think he's going to be 31 years old when the last year of that deal he could opt out of it. So that's awesome.
Yeah. I will say we did give him that extension. I think he might be like the youngest guy or the guy that's pitched the least amount of innings to get a contract extension like that. So that could blow up in our face. But the thing I like about it is just they're going for it. You know, trying to make something happen. And if it means reaching a little bit on the guy not having enough experience and being too young, you know what? Let's do it. Better than what we have been doing when it comes to roster composition over the past few years.
I was always jealous for many years of Andy Pettitte with the Yankees. Yep. He was just a guy that stopped streaks. He was a guy that always won the games that needed to be won. This kid gives me Andy Pettitte vibes big time. He's a little bigger though.
Yeah. American League Cy Young odds for 2025. And this is where you might say, Randy, you're not a baseball guy because you can't pronounce any of these guys' names. And that would be true. But plus 380. Tarek Skubal. Is that how you say that? Skubal? Plus 380. Garrett Crochet, plus 400. So he's the second favorite for the Cy Young, which is pretty awesome to have a Red Sox in that conversation. Cole Reagan's plus 900. Jake DeGrom plus 1,000. And then it just kind of goes up from there. So he's definitely one of the guys in the American League.
It's interesting that the White Sox always have to trade away guys like this.
They're not a destination, dude.
I'm proud of the Red Sox, by the way, for actually opening up the wallet for this. We've been so burnt between Chris Sale, David Price, Josh Beckett to a certain amount, later in their contracts, just absolutely killing us. The comparables, though, this offseason, a couple of guys got big deals like this, but all of these guys sort of start at their 30-year-old age, 31-year-old age, and sort of run the next 5 years. So I don't know, man. This is lined up for best case scenario. We'll see what happens.
Hey, is he starting on Friday? Who's starting on Friday? I haven't looked yet.
Yeah, it's Walker. I think it's Bueller. And Tonight is Crochet.
Yeah.
We're taping this on a Wednesday.
Okay. Damn. All right. All good. I am fired up for that. So, how about on the other side of the coin, though? Your boy Devers not having a great start. What's going on with him?
So he shows up initially when he was a rookie. One of his issues was he could not hit fastballs. I don't know if you remember that. They were just chucking fastballs at this kid.
Yep.
The last couple of years, absolutely destroys fastballs. Dude, 71% of the pitches that are thrown at him so far, and I know the season's young, have been fastballs.
Mm-hmm.
He is alarmingly striking out on fastballs right now. He is not making contact at all. Dude, it's actually really bad. Think about that. 71% of the pitches thrown at him right now, fastballs, and he can't put a ball in play. That's one of your higher paid guys on the roster. That's a guy that's supposed to be in the middle of your lineup, and he's not hitting fastballs. So it makes you wonder, what did he do this offseason? He's pudgy right now. He's always pudgy, but dude, what's
Rutgers
going on?
was supposed to be that guy that was the bridge to the next generation after Poppy retired. And I mean,
Yeah.
he signed for a million more years, so he's definitely like a guy that is a long-term Red Sox. Dude, he's 0 for 19 to start the season with 15 strikeouts. The record for most strikeouts through the first 5 games of the season is terrible. It's terrible. You know,
I saw like a 95 stat, I think, with Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn?
It was insane. It was like over 500 at bats. No, over 400 at bats and 15 strikeouts for the whole season.
Yeah, Tony Gwynn is a freaking man.
He was a freak.
Yeah. But I think it's kind of affected the Red Sox offense in general, because I don't think their offensive numbers are so great to start the season. They're 9 for 55 with runners in scoring position. You know, so they're just not putting up as many runs as they need to. So maybe Devers will break out of it. All these guys, Bregman hasn't been killing it so far to start the season either. So I don't know. Maybe on Friday when they get back in Fenway.
Do you think there's something to being in warm weather, then you're sort of chasing it in this division where you're not playing in the best weather conditions? It's colder. I wonder about that sometimes.
Start of the season. I mean, you would like to see these guys get off to a better start, but that might be part of it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens over the next few weeks. Any other thoughts on the Red Sox?
No, man. Hopefully they start pitching and hitting well. 1-4 is not a good start.
It's not a good start. So, all right. Stay tuned on the Red Sox. What's the next baseball thing you'd want to discuss? Anything come to mind?
Yeah, what do you think about Soto?
Well, how is he doing down there?
Well, it's early, so he's sort of in the middle of the pack right now. He's not doing amazing. He's not doing bad. I wonder because some of the stuff last year from Yankee guys that I know is he did zero to fit into that clubhouse. He just basically disappeared. Didn't give the Yankees a chance, really, it seems like. He's out the door. He's in New York. I wonder, is he just one of those loner guys that's like freakishly like Manny Ramirez and just going to show up and hit for this team also? Another young guy that came in the league at 19 years old. He's the highest paid baseball player ever. Is he worth it? I don't know. So
far, 4 for 16. He only has 1 home run in the first 5 games of the year. So you would like to think you get a little bit more production off of that. 2 RBIs at this point. So kind of a slow start for him too, but he is a stud, supposedly. So we'll see if he lives up to the hype.
So you have Bats, you have Soto, you have Rafi, you have Crochet, the Dodgers. We missing anything?
No, I just wanted to go over some odd stuff, if that's cool with you. Share some information.
Let's do it.
So before we move on to something else. AL East, plus 135 for the Yankees to win the AL East. Baltimore plus 270, Red Sox plus 390, Rays plus 550, Blue Jays way out there, plus 1,300. So it's still the Yankees to lose, I guess, at this point. But that's how it's looking.
It definitely is. I guess the Red Sox would be sneaky money there.
Yeah. Could happen.
Yeah.
All right. American League, also the Yankees plus 400, Astros plus 650, Baltimore plus 700, Red Sox plus 950. So it's definitely, again, Yankees not only favored in the division, but also in the league as well. Dodgers plus 140 in the National League, Braves plus 500, Phillies 550, Mets plus 750. So it would be an interesting rematch. Man, Yankees got freaking smoked last year, though, in the World Series. So
they did. Man, Baltimore would be a sneaky little World Series team. It's it's an awesome franchise as far as history, players, really a sort of a lack of championships. It'd be neat for, if it isn't the Red Sox, obviously I'm not rooting for the Yankees. It'd be cool to see Baltimore.
That would be cool. I don't know much about their history, but I do know some local people that are fans of Baltimore, and they're in our division, see them all the time. So it'd be kind of cool to see them have some success. As far as AL MVP odds, Aaron Judge minus 115, so he's a pretty significant favorite. Bobby Witt Jr. plus 450, Gunnar Henderson plus 1300. Get some other guys like Vlad Guerrero Jr. is plus 2,000. Mike Trout's still plus 2,000. Man, what's up with Mike Trout? I don't even think of him as a thing anymore. Is he still good?
You know what he is he's the guy that falls in the area of, like, I think about Ken Griffey Jr. sometimes. When Griffey Jr. was smacking home runs all over the place, you start looking at the guy, chasing the guy, Hank Aaron at that point with home runs. Mm-hmm. Griffey was in that area of pace, and then all of a sudden injuries derailed everything. Trout was in that area for me. I'm like, wow, this young kid can rake, and all of a sudden he can't even stay on the field. It bums me out. It's like these guys get really pumping statistically, and then they just die off because of injuries.
Yeah.
It reminds me of what Bill says all the time. Half of being great is being available.
Yeah. Yep. And it's too bad he's played for an Angels team that never really had any playoff success. I could be at a restaurant and Mike Trout could be sitting next to me, and I might be like, that guy looks like somebody, but it's like I don't 100% know that I'd recognize him. So, and I think that's true for probably a lot of people, that Mike Trout he's the name, but like people don't, he's just not marketable. He's just not a guy that's like a face of the league, and really should have been. NL MVP odds, Ohtani plus 150, Soto plus 600, so not quite as much the favorite. Tatis plus 700, Mookie plus 1600, Bryce Harper plus 1800. Throw some money on Freddie Freeman at plus 3500. Still one of the awesome best home runs I've ever seen, but it seems like it's just more of the same guys from last year.
Ohtani. Yeah. What is your thought on year after 50-50? Is he going to be able to? You and I were talking like Russell Westbrook going for the triple-double, and he gets it. Then he did it in, I think, 3 out of the next 5 years. And, the last basketball player to do that was Oscar Robertson in the 70s. So Russ makes it look easy. Here we are with Ohtani, 50-50. Do you think that just continues?
I mean, he's 30 years old. So I don't see any reason to think it wouldn't. I mean, he's really an absolute stud. Would you put Ohtani at this point? It's kind of actually maybe crazy to say, a little bit hyperbolic, but like, is he a Mount Rushmore guy for baseball? Is he like a true all-time great, like a generational player, or is it just too early to say? Because to me, he seems like he kind of is.
He's kind of in that area, and I think when you ask that question as a fan of the game, if he's in a super clutch situation and he's playing your team, are you afraid as F that he's going to come through in the clutch? And the answer is probably yes.
Yeah. Hey, I'm all for it, man. Having guys like him playing baseball right now, again, it's a good thing for the game. It's certainly something that makes me more interested in the game. Anything else baseball-wise for you? Because I'm ready to move on. But
no, I'm good.
All right, man. We'll see. Maybe next month I'll be officially a baseball guy with my Nesson package. I'll keep you posted.
We'll have to see if you have time in that busy schedule of yours. I don't even know if you have time to be a baseball guy.
The thing I like about baseball, or the idea of watching baseball, is that at night, winding down, just having it on in the background while you're on your phone or just doing whatever. So that's where I could see baseball in my life.
Yep. Agree.
Do you play fantasy baseball?
I used to.
Yeah. I mean, I don't anymore. I used to too. And part of me thinks that would pull me into the game a little bit more, but it's not something I've done.
A quick story I have is I went to bed once thinking that I won a baseball championship by a half point. It was between Chavez and somebody else. A hit was changed to an error, and I had both of the players, and it was reversed after the fact, after the game, and I woke up a loser. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this game. I'm never playing this again.
And you haven't played since?
I have not.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Love it. All right. March Madness is also going on right now. We are a few days before the Final Four. Our boy Cooper Flagg Maine's finest, is in the Final Four along with all the other one seeds for the first time in, I think, like 13 or 14 years, maybe like 17 years, actually.
Yeah.
I think it was 2008. How's March Madness been for you? Have you been on it?
I have a bracket that's in first place right now. A lot of people have Duke in that bracket. It's going to come down to the points.
That's the thing. Everyone has Duke, especially in
Yeah.
Maine. Everyone's, of course, picking Duke.
You know what I think is kind of sneaky in this conversation is I was thinking about Wembanyama, how he went overseas, and really we didn't get to experience a Wembanyama sort of getting through, a bracket and seeing what he could do for his team. This is what I'm liking about Cooper so far. That first game was phenomenal. A 30 biscuit. He was pressing a little bit the last game, and his boy Knuppel picked him up, but
he's good. They have a really good team. I think we were talking about this. Like, that Duke team's pretty stacked.
Dude, their center's a rim runner. He's freaking super awesome around the rim defensively also. Proctor's playing well. I don't know. What do you have for odds in front of you? I'm sure you're looking it up.
I'll look it up as we're talking, but I also did want to point out a little more Cooper Flagg talk because I can never talk about him enough. He is a finalist for the Wooden Award, which is expected. Get him all the awards because he's freaking living up to the hype, man.
He just turned 18 years old. Let's do this for a second.
In December. It's April 1st. He's 3 months into his, being an 18-year-old. He should be in high school. It doesn't make any sense.
If you're not aware of it now, he reclassified. So basically he would be a senior in high school right now. He's a freshman in college. You just don't see a kid that size, like his height, number one, how wide he is, how athletic he is. He's just really good spatially. I love how he plays. He sort of has that fundamental aspect to him when he squares up with the ball, but he's super athletic. I think if you can knock his game a little bit, somebody's been messing with his jump shot. I don't like it. I feel like his jump shot looked better a year ago. It's a little hitchy right now, but he'll figure that out. He's an animal mentally. I just love his attack mode. It's gonna be so disappointing when he gets drafted on a team that I despise.
We've talked about it before. We'll dig into that at some point, but there's not a lot of options. I kind of want him on the Spurs. That's my hope, but pretty unlikely at this point.
Yeah.
So Duke is slightly favored against Houston, minus 105 against them. And Auburn is minus 105 over Florida. So pretty tight. I mean, it's like Duke's like minus 5.5 points. So really anything could happen, but I don't know, man. I think Duke's going to win it all.
I'm quiet because it's like I'm trying to make a case for the other teams, and I'm just like so biased on Coop right now. But one thing that I can clearly say is I'm impressed by his teammates, because it's like when Coop goes on those couple of minute runs where he's making things happen, he's taking these harder shots that good athletes like him can take, but he's not making them. His teammates are picking him up.
Yeah, no, it's a very solid team. What did you think of that whole ankle injury a few weeks ago? Do you think he was done for the season?
I thought Tatum had one, right? Tatum had one against Sacramento where you're like, damn it, he's done for the rest of the season. Let's park him
get
to
him
the
back in the playoffs. But dude, I don't know what it is. These treatments these guys get, or putting some magic lotion on it, like bounce back. Tatum and Cooper pretty quickly.
Medicine is so different now. These staffs are so different. It looked like a bad one. It
look good.
Dude, obviously he has his tape on his ankles, so it couldn't have been that bad.
But it's looking like it hasn't been a hindrance for him, which is great. I was bummed that he missed the ACC tournament, missed the semifinals and the finals, and they obviously still won, but it would have been cool for him to have a moment there. I was bummed. I'm like, man, this kid's having such a great season before he goes pro. Like, want him to have these moments, these big ACC championship win, and now the NCAA tournament. Hopefully they can get there, because it'd be nice for him to just one and done, be an NCAA champion, onto the NBA. So I'm glad he's playing.
I hate that I'm like concocting these Jaylen Brown, Hauser, Pritchard, and 27 first-round draft picks in the future to whatever team gets him.
You know he wants to be a Celtic, right?
Oh, man.
He is a Celtics fan, no matter what he's.
Larry Bird guy.
Yeah. Stevens, make it happen. How many perfect brackets do you think are remaining, at least on CBS?
Isn't there one?
0. And I don't know when the last one was up, but there's 0 perfect brackets remaining, and it's actually never been done before. No one's ever gotten a perfect bracket, at least on CBS. I don't know what's true for ESPN or other sites that might do it, but CBS says it's a 1 in 92 million chance to have a perfect bracket. I'm surprised it hasn't been done, but it's never been done since they've been doing it. So I thought that was interesting.
The brackets that you have, were you an auto pick guy or did you actually pick them?
So I don't have any brackets. So I guess, am I not a March Madness guy? I'm not a baseball guy. I'm not a March Madness guy. That whole week snuck up on me. It's like they announced the bracket, and then I have 3-4 days to put one together, and there wasn't, I would have had to join random ones because no one I knew specifically was like reaching out like, hey, join my bracket, join my bracket. I probably would have in that case.
I did auto pick this year because like it snuck up on me too. And I X'd out of a couple of them when I picked Auburn, I believe.
Yeah.
So I auto picked a Duke.
To Duke, and then the rest. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's happening on Saturday. Finals, I believe, is on Monday. So definitely be watching some basketball over the next few days. What are you going to go next? We have just a few more things before we wrap it up. I think we want to talk about Masters happening next week, and then we get some NBA stuff.
I love the Masters. I love golf. It's like the greatest time of the year.
Did you see when Bedford Soccer is opening up?
Oh, when did they announce it? When is it?
They announced it this morning, April 9th, next Wednesday.
Oh,
you can make tee times on Friday.
Man, I'm going to be gone till the 12th.
That's right. We'll have to get our tee time on the books afterwards. But yeah, it's golf season, dude. BNS is opening up. Masters next week. Let's go.
Golf season is the best. I know you're a big ski guy. I'm a like semi big ski guy. But golf is where it's at for me.
I love skiing. Don't get me wrong. It is my favorite thing. But by the time ski season is ending, I'm at peace with it because I've had another good run of plenty of skiing, and nice to have nice weather. Nice to get the golf clubs out. I'm in an indoor golf league right now up at Apex. Played at X Golf a couple times, so been swinging. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get on the course next week.
What is a prediction for Randy's handicap?
Oh, dude. I'm embarrassed to say. Like, I'm hoping to just get under 20. The amount of golf that I've had played over the past few years, the fact that I'm not is concerning, but that's the reality of the situation.
This is the
Are you
year
hoping to get under 10?
I'm a head case. I don't think I'll ever get under 10.
You're 14?
I'm a 12. I mean, there's potential for it. I think there's a consistency in my game. I had a couple of 80 scores last year. I really want to break 80 this year. Breaking 80 is my goal.
I like that goal. So I broke 90 a few times last year, and I would just, if I can get to doing that more often, my handicap will definitely get underneath 20. So that's the goal, my dude. I bought a new 3 hybrid for Ping, and I've been liking how that's been feeling in the sim. So I think that's going to create some opportunities for me.
Last couple of years, too, at the club, I've had some decent runs at the pin on hole 10, hole 15, and I never play hole 8 very good, but I had a couple of good shots on 8 last year. I just want to see one go in. I want to see one go in. I've had enough of them give me the impression that I have a really good shot at it going in, and they just don't. It's going to be the greatest feeling ever.
It's going to happen. It'll definitely happen. Getting that hole in one will be nice, but it'll happen, dude. You play enough golf.
We'll see.
Odds for the Masters. Let's see where we're at here. Scotty Scheffler, plus 460. I mean, Scheffler's the man right now, so not a surprise. Rory, plus 650. Winning the Players a couple weeks ago, so I'd like to see Rory win. I don't know what your thoughts are on Rory.
I like Rory, semi-standoffish, so maybe it's not always like the aesthetically most pleasing golfer to root for. I don't know why I feel that way, but I typically like guys that are standoffish. Big Tiger guy. For some reason, Rory, I've always expected a little bit more out of Rory.
Yeah, I mean, he choked. What did he choke in last year? Was the U.S. Open or something? He choked in one of the majors, and it's tough to recover from that stuff. But anyways, he's plus 650. Rahm plus 1,500. Morikawa plus 1,700. I like Morikawa. Bryson, kind of grown on me over the years, plus 1,700.
Yep.
Justin Thomas plus 2,400. Koepka plus 3,100. So, but you know what? It'll probably be someone that just kind of comes out of left field, so as sometimes happens.
Justin Thomas, the Jeremy Goulet lookalike.
Will Zalatoris plus 3,800. Tommy Fleetwood. I like Tommy. So is Tiger playing in the Masters? Do you know the answer to that? I do.
No, he's got something going on with his Achilles, so he's injured once again. Dude, I put something under a post like it matters, by the way, but I wish somebody would get into his ear about doing like the TB12 plyometrics, plyo stuff, like being, he doesn't need to look like an inside linebacker. I don't know why he trains the way he does. He's too bulky for his age.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. He had surgery to fix a ruptured Achilles tendon. So there's talk that he might miss the whole season, which I think at this point is probably pretty true. And then there's some further talk saying that his career might even be over, which would not be cool. I freaking love Tiger, man. Even if he went to play on the senior tour, sign me up, dude. Tell me when the senior tour events are on. I'll watch that any day of the week.
Here we are again in another conversation about like Ken Griffey Jr., Mike Trout, Tiger Woods. It's like, just stay healthy. Stop training with the Navy SEALs. Stop almost having your wife kill you. Stop falling asleep when you're in your vehicle and you fly off the road. Like, be better for us so we can enjoy more of a run of you. It is super selfish of him.
Yeah, super selfish. It can't be easy being Tiger, but yeah, it's super selfish.
I mean, come on.
But even though he's not playing, dude, I am fired up for the Masters, so definitely got to get there one of these days. Did you enter the drawing for the tickets this year? I mean, I don't know if I did it last year or the year before.
Hey, so you just said some odds there. Scotty Scheffler. Is he going to go on a run? Do you think at the end of his run, will he be in the Tiger area to Jack area?
He's got a long ways to go, but he's obviously on a great trajectory right now. So I would say it's possible. Obviously, more than anyone right now, he's the guy that has that path ahead of him. But it's hard. So much has to go right. You have to really have that longevity and consistency. Last year was one of those years, though, man. He had a really, really good year that you could put up there with any of those guys.
Last year when he was arrested with
arrested. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, whatever it was. The details of that story are super sus from like the area of like law enforcement. And I still cannot believe how he just turned around and won that tournament. The guy he's got it upstairs. Like he's got that killer instinct. So he only has 2 majors right now. He's got the 22 and 24 Masters tournament.
He's got a lot of wins.
Yeah. Jeez. It makes the numbers for Jack and Tiger so amazing because Scotty is actually today's like killer, and you're like, man, he's probably going to go on a run. But now that I look at his stats, I'm like, God, he's got a lot of work to do.
But hey, he's the guy right now, so I'll enjoy it. If he has a good Masters this year, that'd be great too. That's back, be cool. Last thing, NBA talk. We're approaching the end of the regular season. Playoffs are not that far away. Celtics are on a little bit of run. They're kind of sneaky on fire right now. I think 15-1 in their last 16.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
It seems like every game you're missing a guy or two. They continue to win on the road. I think they only have 7 losses, which is in this area for tying a team after a championship for wins on the road. Tatum, I'm watching a lot of the games now. I'm always in the game, okay? So whenever there's a Celtics game, I'm always watching it. But am I on my phone? Am I annoyed by how they're playing? Tatum is actually the last like 15 games. There's just this different area to him. I don't want to jump the gun because it's such a small sample size. It's like last year with the NBA Finals, you could tell that Tatum deferred his game for the betterment of the team play.
Yeah.
JB sort of took that over, and I have this weird comparable in my mind where it's like a lot of people forget Maxwell won the MVP the first year Larry Bird was in the NBA Finals. This is like a JB-JT conversation. I love what I'm seeing out of Tatum. I just hope he stays healthy. I hope Kristaps stays healthy because I think if you have those two, you could actually do without JB because he's had some stuff with his knees, his elbows and stuff recently.
Yeah.
I'm big right now. Obviously, I'm a big Celtics guy, but I love the way they're playing. What about you?
Same. I mean, how couldn't you? And it seems like every game there's like 2 of those guys that you're just mentioning with some of the lingering injury stuff that don't even play. It's like we don't even have our full team and we're 15-1 in the last 16. So if we can continue and finish strong, get that 2 seed, I think we're kind of locked into the 2 seed at this point. Get that. and have home court advantage for the first couple rounds, have some favorable matchups, but have the whole team back, I think that's best case heading into the playoffs.
We didn't talk about this, but so the Celtics were sold for 6.1.
Our bid lost out, Beds. Me and you, our bid didn't make it.
Where were we? Like 2 million?
$6.1 billion, dude.
So that comes without real estate. So this guy has a lot of money apparently. The question that I have for you is like, so we're in the first apron this year. Our salary bill plus tax. I mean, the team's profitable, but it's going to be a big bill. Next year's bill is $230 something million with the salaries, and I think it's $280 million with the luxury tax. So a lot of the talk of this team is that eventually somebody has to go.
I was reading it might be Porzingis, which would be unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, how long? Maybe we have next year, but beyond that, if he even wants to do that, the team's going to look a lot different, I'm sure, in the next couple of years.
I was reading that if you re-sign Al Horford this offseason for the veteran minimum, it's actually an $8-to-1 tax. So like if he gets like 2 point something million, which is the veteran minimum, or maybe was 4 million, it's actually, I mean, you could do the tax on 8-to-1 there. So it's like, it's going to start making the Al Horford decisions. The Luke Cornett is also a free agent. So it's like two big guys coming off the bench. Big Al starts for us. I guess ultimately where I was going with this is that you have a guy coming in that purchased the team with big money. Is that money big enough to just continue to pay and say, screw it? I am anticipating the salary cap to go up the next couple of years. So it's going to mitigate some of those taxes, but I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how these guys operate with the type of money that they have mentally. Like a guy that has enough money to put together a $6.1 billion bid. What is $280 million to him? It's nothing, but like these guys are business guys too. So they do look at it pretty black and white and they're trying to make a profit. So to the degree that that's the focus, then that could jeopardize things. But if the guy just has some FU money and he's ready to continue this run as long as he can into that first couple years of his ownership, then that would be the best case scenario. So I want to hope that's the one. That's the scenario that he's going to go with.
And you have to figure a guy with that money is going to actually do that. Because like your first like 2 to 4 years, if it's a lost leader and you're making a stupid amount of money doing what you do every day, if you're a big Celtics fan, like apparently he is, I'm hoping that's the philosophy.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on a potential new stadium? I guess the lease at the TD Garden runs out in 2036. If they did a new stadium, they'd have to do it someplace else. Some people say the Seaport. Some people say other parts of downtown. What are your thoughts?
Seaport is the area that I keep hearing about. What do you think about that?
I think that having a new state-of-the-art stadium would be freaking fantastic. The thing that I wouldn't like is that getting to the Garden right now is so easy for us from Maine. It's like I could do that drive with my eyes closed. It's so easy. We're getting to the Seaport's a grind. Getting to other parts of downtown Boston are a grind. That part would get worse, but it would be cool to have one of those premier stadiums in the NBA in Boston for the Celtics.
Yep. I was actually surprised that the ownership, I mean, I guess you got to bid to get the team and there's only so much stuff you can control. But if you're spending that much money, I would have thought you would want some ownership. And I don't know how you negotiate that while you're negotiating trying to purchase the team. But if I'm Jeremy Jacobs, I almost start considering now a partnership with the owner of the Celtics, because it's like, a guy with this much money is taking his business elsewhere in 36.
Yeah. It seems it's like, wow, we're talking 2036. That's so far away, but all the wheels on those things starts to move so far in advance that, it'll get sorted out over the next few years, I'm sure, in anticipation of that.
So, dude, I'll be 41 in 36. What about you?
Yeah, dude, I don't even want to do the math, actually. When I think about how old I really will be then, it's actually kind of mind-blowing. Other NBA stuff. Did you see freaking Jokic last night? 60-point triple-double. Second, third in history? Third 60-point triple-double. Guy's freaking incredible.
He does his scoring in such a weird area that I thoroughly enjoy. It's not an athletic run of plays that creates his scoring. He's just so good in the areas that all of these guys aren't, and I love it. It's like Kevin McHale with further distance of the ability to score. Yeah. It reminds me obviously of Bird. but I actually feel like Bird was a little bit more athletic.
Yeah. I don't want to get hyperbolic again, but when you look at Jokic's stats, like they're pretty ridiculous. Like I don't know if the general public will accept him as one of like the true all-time greats, but if you look at his numbers, like he really is in that conversation or very close to that conversation. So if he keeps this up for a number of more years, it'll almost be indisputable. He's very, very good. Just he's kind of stuck in Denver and he's not that aesthetically pleasing to watch. So I think that hampers things a little bit.
Did you see the first half of the Warriors game last night? Steph had 8 threes. What did he end up with? Do you have the stats?
52 points last night. Dude, Steph's the man.
I'm a big Steph guy at times. He hits this 3 last night from the right elbow further back. Mm-hmm. And he knows it's going in. And he just always turns around and he like pauses with a stupid mouthpiece in the side of his mouth. He always has these moments of like,
I love it.
Yeah. Oh, man. It still gets me every now and again. I'm like, would you knock it off? Just turn around and just... He actually is so good that he admires his own play. That's what that is.
Hey, he is incredible.
Yes.
Did you see that shot he did pregame from the freaking hallway? Yeah. Full court shot. Did you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. He's just an animal.
So when I saw that, I thought it was fake, right? Because he just took it one hand, hucked it from the hallway, and went in. And I was like, there's no way. Like, this is one of those, it's an Under Armour ad, or it's a freaking ad for something. Someone did it on CGI. Because you see, like, fake shots, and you're like, okay, that's not real. It reminds me of, I think back in the day, there was a commercial with Mike Vick, and he threw a football, like, freaking 100 yards. Yeah. And, you see the commercial, and you're like, okay, yeah, it's obviously fake. It's impossible. I thought that shot was impossible. And then I saw, like, 5 different camera angles of it that people had taken with their cell phones. And I was like, this guy's incredible, dude. He truly is an alien. And
it's a testament to reputation.
Made that one up. I like it.
It's a testament to just, it's so amazing what they do, how they craft their sport. It's just so many reps. It just becomes like second nature to do these amazing things. And
he truly is great. Like, there is other people that are very good. He's truly one of a kind, man. I don't know if it's hand-eye coordination or whatever it is, but there is something inside of him that guy can put a basketball in a hoop from freaking pretty much anywhere.
And here's a kid that I was worried about that would be in the Ken Griffey Jr. area of always being hurt. He was always hurt earlier in his career, and so far he's given us a pretty lengthy career. He's 36 right now.
Dude, just think back to how old was Larry Bird when he retired? Younger than 36, right? 33.
Yeah. So actually, Bird was, I believe, 36 in his last.
Okay, so right now, but he was not playing at the level Steph Curry is, this 36-year-old. So he's a solid 36-year-old with, I don't know what his goals are, but he's, in my opinion, has a few more years left in him.
What I wonder is if he actually finishes his career in Golden State, if they can keep that rolling where it makes sense to keep him, or if they pull a Paul Pierce, KG, ship him somewhere,
Yeah. There's always been this talk about him getting back to Charlotte because that's where he was from. Dad used to play there. That could be cool, but Charlotte's one of those teams that, and maybe if they get Cooper Flagg, then Steph would okay it. That'd be kind of fun, but I don't know. He seems like a guy that should be a Warriors guy for life. I don't want to talk much more NBA, truthfully, because playoffs are coming up. I think on our next pod, we'll probably dig into that more, but definitely enjoying the end of the season. As it's winding down, there's a whole bunch of different storylines, and I'm sure by the time we get to playoff time, it'll be pretty exciting. So
our next podcast, I'm excited for NBA playoffs. We can talk some NFL drafts. We're getting there.
You're doing your mock drafts. You're ready.
My God, I've done like 500 of them.
I love it. Well, we are going to do, by the time we do our next pod, it'll be more of a recap of the draft. Who's your prediction for who the Pats get?
Travis, if he's there. Okay.
If he's there is a big hit, in my opinion.
Yep. Carter, Travis, if they fall to 4, either one of them will be a New England Patriot. I hope it's Hunter because that satisfies a wide receiver position. I don't want the LSU lineman, but if we end up with him, I'm okay with it. I actually hope we trade back a little bit so we get some second or third round capital. And I am in love with the tight end from Penn State.
Wow.
Warren, big Warren guy. Randy, your thoughts?
I would be disappointed if that's what we did. Because I think we need like and maybe Warren is another Bowers or Gronk or something, but man, I feel like we just need like some speed, playmaking ability on the outside. So that's why I'm really set on Travis, but we'll see, dude. We'll recap the whole thing next time we do this pod.
Let's go.
All right. So I say it's a good time to wrap it up. We'll see you guys in a month. Thanks for listening.
See you.